I stood at the back of the wedding hall, telling myself I had come for closure. 7 years had passed since I last saw Claire. 7 years since she walked away without giving me a reason. Yet when I saw her in her white dress, every buried feeling returned. "She's beautiful," Michael whispered beside me. I barely heard him. "I shouldn't have come." "You can still leave." "No. I need to know why she never looked back." Claire reached the altar. Then, for one brief second, her eyes met mine. She froze. My heart stopped with hers. A woman beside Claire noticed me and whispered, "Claire, do you know that man?" Claire looked directly at me. Then she answered quietly, "No. I've never met him." I felt the words hit harder than any insult. Michael grabbed my arm. "Daniel, are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You're not fine." I said I'm fine. I walked out before anyone could see my face. I reached the hallway and pressed my back against the wall. 7 years, I whispered. "And that's all I am to you." Footsteps rushed toward me. "Daniel." I turned. Claire stood there, breathing hard. "Don't leave." I stared at her. "You just told everyone you don't know me." "I had to." "You had to." "Yes." "You humiliated me in front of hundreds of people." "I know." "You looked into my eyes and lied." "I know." "Then why are you here?" She stepped closer and lowered her voice. "Because I didn't pretend not to know you because I hate you." "Then why?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Because I'm trying to protect you." I laughed bitterly. "Protect me from what?" "Your wedding." "Daniel, please listen." "I listened 7 years ago. I believed you when you left. I never stopped loving you. Then why did you destroy us?" She looked toward the hall. "Someone is watching." I glanced behind me. "Who?" "I can't tell you here." "Claire, I deserve an answer." "You do." "Then give me one." She reached into her purse and placed something cold in my palm. I looked down. An old silver key. My breath caught. "Where did you get this?" "You remember it." I closed my fingers around it. "This belonged to my father." "Yes." "My father is gone." Claire shook her head. "Daniel, your father didn't abandon you." I stared at her. "What did you say?" "He never chose to leave you." "My mother said he left." "I know. My whole life, I believed he walked away." "That's what you were supposed to believe." "Who made me believe it?" "I can't tell you yet." "Why?" "Because if they know I told you, you could be in danger." I stepped closer. "Who are they?" She looked frightened. "Go to the place where you used to wait for him." "The workshop." She nodded. "Find the truth there." "Claire, wait." "I'm sorry." "You can't say that and disappear again." She squeezed my hand. "I'm not disappearing this time." Then she turned and hurried back toward the wedding. I stood alone, staring at the key. Michael found me outside minutes later. "What happened?" I showed him the key. His expression changed. "Where did you get that?" "Claire." "She gave you this?" "Yes." "Daniel, this could be a trap." "She told me my father didn't abandon me." Michael frowned. "You believe her?" "I don't know what I believe." "You spent 7 years trying to forget her." "I never forgot her." He sighed. "Then don't let her control you again." I looked at the key. "I need to know the truth." "Then I'm coming with you." "No." "Why?" "Because if Claire is right, I need to face this myself." That night, I drove to my father's abandoned workshop. The door groaned when I opened it. I stepped inside and whispered, "Dad?" Only silence answered. I searched the room until I noticed loose floorboards beneath the old workbench. I pulled them up. A metal box was hidden underneath. Before opening it, I found a photograph beside it. I picked it up. It showed me as a little boy, standing beside my father. I turned it over. 6 words were written on the back. I never chose to leave my son. My hands began to shake. I stared at the locked metal box. What happened to you, Dad? I reached for the lock. And suddenly, I heard footsteps outside. I stopped breathing. Someone was standing outside. I whispered, "Who's there?" No answer came. I moved toward the door and listened. 3 slow knocks echoed through the workshop. My hand tightened around the photograph. "Dad." Another knock. I looked at the metal box. The key in my pocket suddenly felt heavier. I backed away from the door. Then a voice called from outside. "Daniel, don't open that box." I knew that voice. My blood turned cold. "Michael." Silence. I grabbed the key and ran to the door. Nobody was there. I stepped outside and looked down the empty road. Who said that? Nothing. I returned inside and locked the door. My hands shook as I examined the box. There was a small keyhole beneath the lid. I pulled Claire's silver key from my pocket. It fit perfectly. I stopped before turning it. 7 years of pain had brought me here. 7 years of believing my father had chosen another life. 7 years of believing Claire had chosen another man. Now, in one night, both beliefs were beginning to collapse. I whispered, "Whatever is inside this box, I'm ready." I turned the key. The lock clicked. I lifted the lid. And before I could see what was inside, the lights suddenly went out. In the darkness, I heard the door handle move. Someone was trying to get inside. I held my breath. "Who are you?" I shouted. The handle stopped. Then I heard a whisper through the door. "Forget your father." I stared into the darkness. "No," I said. "Not anymore." I knew I had to fight. I drove home with the metal box on the passenger seat, but I could not stop thinking about the voice outside the workshop. When I entered my house, my mother looked up. "Daniel, where were you?" "I need to ask you something." Her eyes moved to the box. "What is that?" I placed it on the table. "Do you recognize it?" She went completely still. "Where did you get that?" "From Dad's workshop." "Take it back." "Why?" "Daniel, listen to me. Burn that box." I stared at her. "Why?" "Please." "And forget Claire." Her face tightened. "How did you know she was involved?" "I don't want you near that girl." "Then tell me the truth." "There is nothing to tell." I pulled out the silver key and placed it beside the box. My mother covered her mouth. "You still have it," she whispered. "You know this key." She sat down slowly. "Daniel, some things are better left buried." "Not anymore." "Please don't do this." "Why did you spend 20 years telling me Dad abandoned us?" She looked away. "Answer me." "I was trying to protect you." "That is not an answer." "I did what I thought was necessary." "You let me hate my own father." "I never wanted that." "Then why did you lie?" She began crying. I placed the old photograph on the table. "Look at him." She touched the photograph with trembling fingers. "He tried to come back," she whispered. "What?" "Your father tried to contact you." "How many times?" "Many." "Why didn't I receive anything?" "Because I stopped them." My chest tightened. "You stopped his letters." "I was afraid." "Afraid of him?" "No. Afraid of what would happen if he returned." I stepped away from her. "You stole my father from me." "I know." I felt anger rising, But beneath it was something worse. I felt betrayed. Not by one parent. By both. I took the box upstairs and opened it with Claire's key. Inside were letters. Dozens of them. Each envelope carried my name. I opened the first one. My son, I hope you are safe. I think about you every morning. I swallowed hard. I opened another. Daniel, today you turn 10. I wanted to buy you the red bicycle you always wanted. My hands shook. Another letter said, I never stopped loving you. Someone is keeping me away from you. I whispered, who? The next letter gave me a clue. I worked for the Blake family because I believed I could build a better life for us. I was wrong. I immediately called Michael. Come over. Is everything okay? No. I found something. He arrived 20 minutes later. I spread the letters across the table. What am I looking at? He asked. My father's life. Michael read silently. Blake Industries. That name keeps appearing. You think Ethan's family did this? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. We searched old records until we found my father's employment file. Michael pointed at the screen. Here. I leaned closer. He was accused of stealing company money. Was he convicted? No. Then what happened? The investigation destroyed his career. 3 weeks later, he disappeared. I stared at the screen. Who reported him? Michael checked the record. The Blake Company. My stomach tightened. Claire knew. You don't know that. She knew something. Then ask her. I will. That evening, I returned to the wedding reception. I found Ryan near the parking area. Ryan. He turned. What do you want? The truth. About what? My father. His expression changed. Leave this alone, Daniel. Why? Because you have no idea what you're digging into. Then explain it. I can't. You can. He stepped closer. Stop asking questions. Why does Claire know the truth? Ryan looked away. Tell me. She was there. Where? The night everything happened. What happened that night? Ryan opened his mouth. Ryan. I turned. Claire stood behind me, pale and frightened. Daniel, she said, I have been trying to protect you for 7 years. Protect me from what? She looked toward Ethan. Then she whispered, from the people who ruined your father's life. I stepped toward her. Who are they? Before she could answer, every light in the reception hall went out. People screamed. I reached for Claire. Stay with me. I'm here. Then someone grabbed my shoulder. I fought free. Claire. I'm here. The lights suddenly returned. I looked at the floor. The metal box was gone. My blood ran cold. I searched the room. Who took it? Nobody answered. I looked at Claire. Her face had lost all color. She whispered, Daniel, run. I asked, why? She stared toward the exit. Because now they know you have the letters. You should. I spent my whole life believing my father abandoned me. Now I know someone stole him from me. I'm not running. Claire stared into my eyes. Then promise me something. What? Do not trust anyone. I looked at Ryan. Not even him. Especially not anyone connected to my family. Ryan stepped toward us. Claire, we have to go. I turned on him. Don't tell me what to do. I'm trying to keep you alive. Then tell me who took my box. I don't know. You expect me to believe that? Ryan looked at Claire. I'm sorry. For what? I demanded. He said nothing. I felt something inside me change. I was no longer the man who had arrived at the wedding looking for closure. I was the son of a man who had been erased from my life. I looked at Claire. You started this. I know. Then help me finish it. She nodded. I will. I picked up the photograph of my father. I'm going to find him. Claire whispered, then we need to move before they find you. I looked toward the dark doorway. For the first time, I was not afraid of what waited outside. I was afraid of what I would discover inside my own family. Right now. I met Claire the next morning behind the old church, far from the wedding guests. I had barely slept. The missing box was still gone, but I refused to let fear stop me. You asked me to come, I said. Now tell me everything. Claire looked at me. 7 years ago, I found something inside my family's company. What? Records proving your father was framed. I felt my jaw tighten. Framed for stealing money. Yes. The money never went missing. Your father discovered where it was really going. Then why did everyone blame him? Because Victoria needed someone to take the blame. I stared at Claire. Your family destroyed my father. I know. You knew. I found out after we started dating. Why didn't you tell me? I was scared. Of what? Victoria. I laughed bitterly. You were scared of your own family. You don't understand what she threatened to do. Then explain it. Claire wiped her eyes. She told me she had enough evidence to make you look guilty too. Me. She said she would plant stolen company records in your apartment. She said the police would believe them. I stepped back. She threatened to send me to prison. Yes. And you believed her. I had seen what she could do. You could have told me. I wanted to. Then why didn't you? Every time I tried, someone followed me. My phone was monitored. My room was searched. I was terrified. I looked away. You chose money over me. No. You chose your family. I chose your life. Then why did you break my heart? Claire began crying. Because I thought making you hate me was safer than making you disappear. I stayed silent. She whispered, I never married Ethan because I loved him. Then why marry him? Because Victoria demanded it. That makes no sense. It was a business agreement. Ethan needed my family's support, and my family needed mine. Victoria believed the marriage would keep me silent. And you agreed. I had no choice. You always had a choice. Claire looked at me through tears. You were my choice. That is why I lost you. Her words hurt because I wanted to believe them. Before I could answer, another voice came from behind me. She's telling you the truth. I turned. Ethan stood near the church entrance. I stared at him. Why are you here? Because you deserve to know what I know. I crossed my arms. You stole my box. Yes. Why? To keep Victoria from destroying it. You could have given it back. I needed her to believe the evidence was gone. I stepped closer. You knew about my father. For years. My anger exploded. You watched me suffer. I was trapped too. You married Claire. My mother forced me. You expect me to believe that? I have proof. Ethan reached into his coat and pulled out the metal box. My breath caught. You had it. I took it during the blackout. Why give it back now? Because hiding it only protects Victoria. I took the box from him. What changed? You. I frowned. You kept searching after everyone warned you to stop. That told me you were ready. Claire whispered, open it. I unlocked the box. Inside was one final envelope. My name was written across it in my father's handwriting. My hands shook. I opened it. My son, if you are reading this, I failed to come home. I swallowed. He discovered financial crimes inside Blake Industries. I found proof, and I planned to expose everything. Before I could, I was attacked and forced to disappear. I continued reading. I wanted to return, but every attempt put you in danger. I watched from a distance and prayed you would someday learn the truth. Then I reached the final lines. My breathing stopped. Daniel, the person who helped them find me was someone you trust. I lowered the letter. Claire touched my arm. What does it say? I could barely speak. My father knew who betrayed him. Ethan asked, Who? I looked at the words again. Someone I trusted. Someone close enough to know where my father was hiding. Someone who had lied to me for 20 years. My mother's face appeared in my mind. Her trembling hands. Her warning. Her tears. I suddenly remembered her saying, Some things are better left buried. I stepped away from Claire and Ethan. Daniel. Claire called. I need to go home. Why? I looked toward the road. Because I think I know who betrayed my father. I drove without calling anyone. My hands stayed tight around the steering wheel. When I reached my mother's house, I stopped outside. The lights were on. I stared at the front door. For 20 years, I had believed my mother was the one person who never lied to me. Now I wondered if every memory I had was built on a lie. I stepped out of the car. I whispered, Mom, what did you do? I walked toward the door, holding my father's final letter. For the first time in my life, I was afraid of the person waiting inside. I stood there, unable to knock. Part of me wanted to turn around and forget everything. I remembered every birthday she celebrated with me, nights when she told me my father had chosen another family. Every time I cried and asked why he never came back. She always said, he left because he wanted to. Now those words sounded different. Before I touched the door, I heard my mother speaking inside. I told you, I never gave him the whole truth. I froze. A second voice answered. You promised he would never discover what happened. My heart slammed against my chest. I knew it. I reached for the doorknob. Then my mother whispered, Daniel must never know. I stepped back. They thought I was outside. They did not know I was listening. I understood now that the truth might destroy everything. I stood outside my mother's door with my father's letter in my hand. Mom, I called. Open the door. Silence. I knocked again. I know you're inside. The door finally opened. My mother looked at me and went pale. Daniel. Who was talking to you? No one. Don't lie to me. She stepped aside. Come in. I entered and placed the letter on the table. Read it. She stared at the page. I don't understand. You know exactly what it says. Daniel, please. Who helped them find Dad? She shook her head. I don't know. I looked at her. The date. What? The date Dad disappeared. November 17th, 20 years ago. Her lips began trembling. You remember it, I said. I remember everything. Then tell me. She covered her face. I gave Victoria his location. My chest tightened. You what? I was scared. You gave her my father. I thought I was protecting you. You didn't save me. You took my father away from me. She began crying. Victoria threatened to take you from me. She said she would destroy our family. She showed me documents that could make you look like a criminal. So you betrayed Dad. I thought he would survive. He disappeared. I know. You let me grow up believing he abandoned me. I regretted it every day. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I was ashamed. I stared at her. My entire childhood was built on your lie. I know. I wanted to scream, but my voice became quiet. I waited for him. I know. I hated him because of you. I know. I walked away before my anger destroyed what remained of our relationship. My phone rang. It was Claire. Daniel, I found something. What? Records proving Victoria ordered the attack. Are you sure? Yes. I have the payment records and a signed authorization. I closed my eyes. Where are you? Outside Blake Industries. I'm coming. When I arrived, Ryan was waiting. I helped Claire find those records, he said. You knew. I suspected for years. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was afraid Victoria would hurt Claire. I looked at him. Everyone was afraid of her. Ryan nodded. She built her power on fear. Inside the company meeting room, Ethan stood before the board. I entered beside Claire. Ethan looked at his mother. Mother, I'm done protecting you. Victoria stared at him. What you talking about? I'm presenting the financial records. You wouldn't dare. I already did. He placed the files on the table. I will also testify against you. Victoria's face hardened. You ungrateful boy. No. I'm your son, and I refuse to become like you. She looked at me. This is your fault. I said nothing. Your father was weak, she snapped. He would have destroyed everyone. I stepped forward. No. You were afraid of what he knew. She laughed. You think you won. I don't need to think it. The board members began whispering. One of them stood. I'm calling the authorities. Victoria turned toward Ethan. You will regret this. I already regret waiting this long. Security entered. Victoria was escorted away. I watched her leave, expecting satisfaction. Instead, I felt empty. Claire touched my arm. Daniel. I thought revenge would feel different. It never gives back what was taken. My father is still gone. I know. My mother is broken. I know. And you're leaving Ethan. Claire nodded. I am. I looked at her. Then what happens to us? She took a breath. I don't know. For once, I understood that winning did not mean getting everything back. My phone rang again. Hello. Daniel Carter. Yes. My name is Dr. Helen Parker. Your father left something with me before he disappeared. My heart stopped. What did he leave? An envelope. Where are you? She gave me an address. I drove there immediately. Dr. Parker opened the door. You look like him. You knew my father. I treated him after the attack. I stared at her. He survived. Yes. Then where did he go? He believed returning would put you in danger. She handed me the envelope. This was meant for you. My fingers shook as I opened it. Inside was a photograph. I stared at the man in the picture. Grey hair. Older eyes. But I knew that face. My father. I turned the photograph over. A date was written there. 3 months ago. I could barely breathe. He's alive, I whispered. Dr. Parker nodded. Yes. I looked at her. Where is he now? She hesitated. He asked me to give you this first. I gripped the photograph. Why? Because he wants you to choose whether you are ready to find him. I looked at my father's face again. For 20 years, I had mourned a man I thought was gone forever. Now I had proof that he was alive. I stood up. I'm ready. Dr. Parker studied me. Then prepare yourself, Daniel. For what? For the truth your father has been waiting 20 years to tell you. Before leaving my mother's house, I stopped at the doorway. Mom. She looked up. If Dad comes back, I don't know what he'll say. He may hate me. Maybe. She wiped her tears. But I need to hear his truth from him. I understand. I stepped outside. The morning air felt cold against my face. I looked at the photograph again. For years, I had imagined my father as a memory. Now he was a living question. I called Claire. Are you safe? Yes. I found out my father is alive. She went silent. Claire. I'm here. I'm going to find him. Then I'll help you. You have already helped enough. I don't want you facing this alone. I smiled sadly. Thank you. For the first time in years, I felt something stronger than anger. I felt hope. But hope scared me, because now I had something left to lose. I refused to let fear steal my hope again. I followed the address Dr. Parker gave me until I reached a small town near the mountains. I stood outside a quiet house, holding the photograph of my father. I knocked. Who is it? My breath caught. Dad. The door opened. I saw him, older and thinner, but I knew him instantly. Daniel. I wanted to hug him. I also wanted to scream. You're alive. I am. Why did you leave me? He lowered his eyes. I didn't leave you. I waited for you. I waited for you too. Then why didn't you come home? Because every time I planned to return, I found another reason to believe you were in danger. You could have told me. I tried. No. Letters aren't enough. I know. I stepped inside. Tell me everything. He nodded. After the attack, I disappeared because Victoria's people were watching me. I changed my name and spent years collecting evidence. You knew she had framed you. I knew before I vanished. And you never stopped fighting. Never. Why wait 20 years? Because I needed enough proof to destroy her without putting you at risk. I looked at him. Did you send the evidence? Yes. Everything went to investigators. I finally understood why Victoria's empire had collapsed so quickly. So it's over. For her, yes. I sat down. I spent years hating you. I know. I thought I wasn't worth coming back for. His eyes filled with tears. You were the only reason I survived. Those words broke something inside me. I needed you, Dad. I know. I still do. He reached for my hand. Then let me be your father now. I nodded. I want that. I sat beside him for a long time. Do you still remember my birthday? Every year. What about the bicycle? You wanted a red one. I got one. I kept it. I laughed for the first time that day. You really remembered. I remembered everything. That small conversation could not repair 20 years, but it gave me something I had never believed I would have again, a beginning. Over the next few days, the truth became public. Victoria faced the consequences of her crimes. Blake Industries was investigated, and the records my father had collected exposed everything. Ethan called me. I ended the marriage. Are you okay? I will be. Why did you testify against your mother? Because protecting family doesn't mean protecting wrongdoing. I respect that. I should have told you the truth sooner. You were afraid. So were you. I was. Ryan called next. I owe you an apology. For what? I treated you like an enemy. You thought I wanted to hurt Claire. I was wrong. I forgive you. Thank you, Daniel. When everything was finally quiet, I met Claire. She stood across from me, nervous. I still love you, she said. I took a slow breath. I don't know what to say. You don't have to forgive me. I want to understand. She looked at me. I don't want you to love me because you remember who I used to be. I want you to choose me only if you can accept who I am now. I thought about the 7 years between us. I spent those years wanting revenge. I know. But revenge wasn't what I really wanted. What did you want? The truth. She nodded. I should have given it to you. You should have. I'm sorry. I forgive you. She began crying. But forgiveness doesn't erase what happened. I understand. I can't get those years back. No. But I don't want to lose the years ahead. She looked at me through tears. Neither do I. I returned home and sat with my mother. I forgive you, I told her. She cried. Thank you. But forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. I know. You have to live with what you did. I will. And if Dad wants answers, you must give them. I will. For the first time, I understood that forgiving someone did not mean pretending their choices never mattered. I also had someone else to forgive. Myself. I had spent years believing I wasn't worth fighting for. I was wrong. I had survived betrayal, lies, and loss. I was still standing. I finally understood that broken things cannot return exactly, but they can still become honest, strong, and beautiful again. Weeks later, I returned to the river where Claire and I had first fallen in love. She stood beside me quietly. I looked at the water. I thought you forgot me. She smiled through tears. I pretended not to know you because I was afraid of losing you. I took her hand. For years, I thought you were the person who broke my heart. She looked at me. And now? I smiled. Now I know you were the person who helped me find it. She leaned against me. I watched the river move beneath the evening light. My past would always be part of me. I could not erase it. I could not change the years I lost. But I no longer had to let those years control me. I had spent so long believing victory meant watching my enemies fall. Now I understood something better. I didn't win because Victoria lost everything. I won because her lies no longer controlled my life. I didn't win because my pain disappeared. I won because I learned how to carry it without becoming bitter. I didn't win because my family became perfect. I won because I finally chose the truth. I looked at Claire and squeezed her hand. Are you ready? For what? For tomorrow. She smiled. Yes. I looked at my father's photograph in my pocket, then at the woman beside me. For the first time, I wasn't looking backward. I was looking forward. I had lost years. I had lost trust. I had almost lost myself. But I had found the truth. I had found forgiveness. And, after everything, I had found my way home.